For week 1, we have 6 of Cups in reverse. Week 2, 10 of Wands in reverse. 7 of Wands for week 3. And 3 of Swords for week 4. So what it's saying for me is that at the beginning of the month, you may feel a little just bit compressed or not fully able to express what's going on with you. This card is saying take a break. And you may not feel like you can take a break. This is a card about rest and relaxation. It's a card of repose. 4 of Swords means putting your thoughts up on the wall for a moment and regaining your strength, it's all about, recharging. It's all those words. So rest, relaxation, R&R, recharging, rethinking, just taking a time out to reassess and then go back into battle with renewed strength. So it's a time of renewal as well. So I just, in general, read this card as rest. And when it's in the reverse position, it's kind of saying you don't feel like you are able to take a rest or you're afraid. There's usually in the reverse, there's doubt, fear, or resistance to the energy of the card. So are you guys afraid of taking a break? Are you resisting taking a break? Are you afraid of what might pop up, what thoughts might come up for you if you take some time out to reflect on things? I want you to consider at the beginning of the month, whatever is preventing you from taking a break or just taking time out to yourself. Maybe this is 5 minutes of meditation a day. The soldier here is really checking out and really just being at peace. He's not engaged in battle. He's not engaged in action at all, or warfare or conflict or anything. He is out of the battle and just reflecting, pausing. So what is your fear, doubt, or resistance to pausing and reflecting? Because what I'm getting is that this is causing the first half of the month to be in reverse. The energies are a little suppressed. They're here waiting for you under the surface. But until you take time to pause and reflect, Gemini, until you remove whatever doubts, fears, or resistance you have to that, those energies are just going to be waiting for you. It's sort of like they're waiting right under the surface until you peel back that layer or take that blanket off of whatever's dampening this. And then towards the end of the month, you'll have renewed energy. So what's hanging out in the shadows in reverse is an openness and a willingness to a new lifestyle. Sometimes Page of Coins can mean a job offer or new money, or it's just a new way of living. Page is openness and willingness, and coins represent lifestyle, the physical environment, money, assets, our day-to-day engagements with things. So I'm reading this as new lifestyle, particularly for many of you. And because it's in your shadow position and in reverse, there's some resistance or fear or doubt or I don't know what to expect with a new lifestyle coming my way, or I don't know what to think about, receiving a new job or doing things in a different way. But Page says you're curious, but you're just not quite open to it yet. There might be some fear, doubt, or resistance to clearing away, and you may want to spend some time just reflecting and thinking about, is it possible that there's a new lifestyle coming to me that I want, but I'm not admitting it to myself? Or what are my fears regarding that to clear away? And part of it is that there's going to be some old subconscious feelings that you'll need to evaluate and release. That's also going to be part of this resting and relaxing and just letting your thoughts wash over you. Part of that is letting, and this is where maybe some of the fears are coming up, is letting the deep-seated emotions, as symbolized by this lobster or this crab, to come up from the deep waters of your subconscious and come up under the gentle light of the moon for evaluation. That's what this dog and this wolf mean. It's the rational, domesticated side of ourselves, and then the wild, passionate, untamed side of ourselves, left brain and right brain, that it allows for these feelings to come up and say, what is permanent or what is changeable? The moon, as we know, changes from from new to full, and it waxes and it wanes. So this is really a card of emotion, and letting emotions wash over us, and evaluating what's real, what's not real, what's fantasy versus what's reality, what's permanent versus what's changeable. So there may be some fears, Gemini, about taking the time out to let those feelings come up and surface for evaluation. But that's what really will allow you to move forward. That's what Moon is about also, is that you see this winding path and passing through a gate. It's almost like as you release these emotions into the world, into the atmosphere, instead of keeping them buried in this emotional pool, then you go forward. So try to conquer any fears, doubts, or resistance that you may have to taking some time to reflect on things, just letting your emotions and thoughts bubble up. That's going to be really helpful for you, Gemini, this month. Even if there's fears regarding that, it's going to help to usher in this new lifestyle, perhaps new money, new assets, new possessions, new way of living. And then also coming up is, King of Coins in reverse. So again, this is a fear, doubt, or resistance, but this is what's coming up for you is King of the Castle. And this is usually King of the Money too. So this could either be you or someone else that you're allowing in. Someone who's usually, King of Coins is usually an entrepreneur, CEO, head of his own business. So some of you may be confronting your own fears about running your own business or stepping into business, or being the king of the castle, being someone who's in charge of it, on top of it, makes good financial decisions, is at the head of the food chain, has employees that he directs justly and fairly, and usually makes really good, sound financial decisions. So what is your fear, doubt, or resistance about receiving this energy in? Are you afraid to pair with someone like this, or are there blocks to you seeing yourself like this? Or is there someone that is trying to come in, as a financial advisor or as a business partner, or, just someone who can help with your business, help with your domestic life potentially, that you're having trouble seeing them come in, or having trouble even believing that that's possible. Notice, too, that there's a progression from page to king. Page may be where you're at, is welcoming in this new lifestyle. And as you acclimate to that, it progresses through this releasing of subconscious feelings and just taking time to reflect on things, where you surround yourself with abundance. This is the next evolution of the page. He goes from page through knight through queen to king. So this is mastery of the physical and financial realm. So allow that in, Gemini. Take a pause and reflect and allow these emotions to be released. This is what's dissolving away. And as you confront the openness and the willingness to do something new or differently, or receive money in a different way, this is where you're headed. This is your future coming in. So don't resist it. Don't let the fears block it. Because what's highlighted for you in June is renewal. This is star. It's hope. It's renewal. It's self-acceptance. It's interesting that star and moon are both showing up here for you in June, but in reverse. This is very peaceful. This is at night. You can see the pool of emotion is here in both of those. And this is a lot about self-acceptance and hope and renewal, feeling renewed, feeling like, oh gosh, I sure got a load of that off my chest. I released a lot of that excess emotion, and now I feel balanced. Now I feel like I've got one foot in the water and one foot on the ground. It's really peaceful. This is a real card of peace. So I'm going to really say again, Gemini, that by attending to this and whatever your fears, doubts, or resistance are about letting yourself have time to pause and reflect, that's going to open up all these doors for allowing new money, new lifestyle in, and a progression, a graduation, an evolution from page to king in the physical realm by releasing old emotions, taking a time to pause and reflect, and then feeling this great sense of peace and renewal. But all of these will be blocked until you address making time to pause and reflect. So that's your general reading for June, Gemini. Really take a time out. It's really going to benefit you. So in week 1, first week of June, there's going to be some reunions happening. This is going back to childhood. 6 of Cups is kindness, sentimentality. Some of you may be thinking about the past. This has sibling energy, so brothers or sisters. It's also friends that you may have known since childhood. It's a real card of innocence, sentimentality, naivete, just sweetness and kindness. And some of you may be asking in week 1, where has that gone? How have I become so cynical? How do I feel like a child again? Or how can I have access to this again? Is there doubt, fear, or resistance towards having that open heart as a child and just those sweet, simple kindnesses? I want you to reflect on that in week 1, Gemini, because that energy is here for you. It's just that there may be some sort of block, doubt, fear, or resistance. And ask yourself, where can that be removed? Where can that doubt, fear, resistance be removed? How can I access this beautiful 6 of Cups energy, childhood, sentimentality, sweetness, kindness? You can see there's children giving to one another. So how can you connect with that energy in week 1? What blocks do you need to remove for that to happen? Because in all 3 of these cards, by the way, you've got this clear blue sky. It's sort of like it's here, it's open, it's ready. You just have to step into it. Week 2 may be a lot of hard work. I'm going to ask you, what have you been carrying, Gemini, that you need to put down? Is there something that you're carrying that feels like a burden, that feels like it's breaking your back? This is something you've been carrying for a long time, and it's wearing you out. So when this is in reverse, it says like, no, I just need to keep going forward. I need to just keep breaking my back. I need to keep carrying this weight. I feel this duty or this obligation to carry this thing. It's a fear of putting the excess down. I'm going to invite you in week 2 to look at what are you carrying that feels very heavy to you, feels like it's excess, what's not necessary that you can put down, and invite you to get rid of the fears or challenge the fears, doubts, or resistance to putting that excess down. That's going to allow you to say, no, I can put something down. I don't have to carry all of this. I don't have to keep carrying this forward. It's actually tiring me out. So that's week 2 for you, Gemini. Week 3, you have a lot of renewed strength. This is 7 of Wands, which means standing up for what you believe in. Notice, by the way, that you go from week 2 to week 3, I'll put him this way. 10 of Wands, where he feels like his back is breaking, is carrying too much, can barely do it, tired out, to 7 of Wands. When he lets go of 3 of those wands, some of the excess of what he's carrying, he has renewed strength, renewed vigor. He's able to stand up for what he believes in, and is not only able to lead others below here, but also able to defend those who are challenging him. So this is a real card. I call this card success despite adversity. So it still means there's challenges. It still means there might be hard work to be done. There might be effort that needs to be put into something, but it's worth it. And it's you being assertive and standing up for what you believe in, defending a cause, believing in what you feel to be right, and saying, no, this is my boundary. This is what I'm willing to fight for. So you've got a lot of renewed energy. Once, especially, Gemini, you put down what's not necessary. And any excess, I'm gonna ask you to say, if you see yourself carrying 10 wands, put it down at least 3 of them. And that gives you this strength, this renewal to stand up for what you believe in, to fight for it. And notice he's in action now. This is like feeling tired and worn out and weary. Remove whatever belief you have that you can't put something down. You don't need to carry all of that, Gemini. Put it down. You'll have renewed strength. And by the way, too, this card is appearing right over your glyph, Gemini. So I'm really saying this is you for June, standing up for what you believe in, defending a cause, leading others. You may want to look up 7 of Clubs or 7 of Wands energy to get even more information about that card. So I'm really seeing that that's where you're headed this month. And then at the end of the month, there may be some sadness, some loss, some betrayal. 3 of Swords usually means third wheel energy, feeling sadness, betrayal, loss, disappointment. I get the sense, Gemini, that it's related to what you had to let go of here. So there might be something that you needed to actually like cry over. There might be something related to the past, someone that you spent time with in childhood, or someone that made you feel like a child. That you may have been carrying a heavy burden, that as you allow these subconscious feelings to come up, you may know that there's some sadness that needs to be released, some tears that need to be shed, and that may be part of why you have this fear, doubt, or resistance, because this is sitting there and waiting to be released. And look at it too as something that needs to be cleared out, Gemini. I'm saying this is emotionally because it's related to the heart and thoughts, but one of the things I point out with star energy is that this is the feeling of like after a storm has passed, after these dark clouds have been raining down. You know how fresh it feels after it rains? That's your highlight for the month. That's what's available to you. But you kind of have to allow these thoughts to come up. Interesting too that there's 3 swords on the wall and 3 swords piercing the heart. I'm getting the sense that you are resisting allowing these 3 swords to come up, or taking time to pause and reflect because these 3 swords are going to come up and you have a feeling it might hurt. But especially allow that the 4th week, if you need to go and cry about something or just grieve something, it's actually that you're pulling these swords out of your heart and allowing it to mend. If you don't acknowledge them, then they stay there. Allow yourself to grieve, Gemini, and allow yourself to pause and reflect, because you have this beautiful integration, shining radiance, renewal, and hope that's available to you if you allow those rain clouds to empty themselves. So that's my reading for you for June, Gemini. It looks like you have some nice strength as you let go of what's unnecessary. You graduate from Page of Coins to King of Coins if you're willing to let that in. If you're willing to sort of clean out this release this like deep-seated emotional stuff, and maybe have a good cry. Maybe let those thoughts that have been brewing and just kind of kept at bay to come up for healing.